Hello flower pots, it's your Aunty Nelly, it's Sunday and I'm here to service you. How are we? Where are we? Give me that like, give me that love and give me that share. Where are you watching me from? It is Sunday, the very last day of July 2022. What are you doing with your day apart from watching me? Hello, Muir Sarah. Hello. We are going to read out some Dear Aunty Nellies that have landed into the inbox saying, Dear Aunty Nelly, anonymous please. Should you have any dilemmas, then please keep writing into the box with your nighttime with Nellies or your Sunday services and also your requests for a review. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are all watching me from. I asked the universe today for a sign that things are okay, and I wanted that sign from my dad. And I'm not joking you, I'm not shitting you. A lady's just chimed with the surname of Hartley, and that is my dad's surname. He was Mr. Hartley, and my little Hartley Blue is named after my dad, who passed away 11 years in April. So that was my sign. So if you are watching something Hartley, thank you for that sign. That's the universe repaying me today that things are going to be okay. Hello there in New Zealand. Jade Nimmo is watching. Hello in Portsmouth. Glad the date went okay. And oi Nelly from Pontefract, West Yorkshire. Mark Pierce has joined. Yes, the date went very well, thank you. And we have arranged for a second date. So, yeah, Aunty Nelly's back dating. Let's see how it goes. I was on my best behaviour and I was just myself. So, that's all you can ever be in date. They'll either like who you are or they won't. It is what it is. So yeah, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are watching me from. I do have a little shout out today that I've just remembered. I've got a terrible menopausal brain today. Does anybody quite understand that, perimenopausal brain? Yeah, it's, I'm all over the fucking shop. Right, I have got a shout out. It's the birthday shout out that I got asked to do, and it is for, where is it? Can you do a shout out and wish my mum, Josie, our queen, a very happy 71st birthday? And that is from Josie, Shell, Andy, Jay and Jet. And obviously from me, your Aunty Nelly. Very happy birthday, Josie. Have a wonderful day, my darling girl. So, shall we get going with the very first Dear Aunty Nelly Anonymous please of the day? Somebody is watching me from West London and Stockport and Australia and New Zealand. Oh, if anybody comments on your comments with gift prize, giveaway, competition, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. Let's get going. Dear Aunty Nelly, my best friend stopped speaking to me during COVID. She blamed me for a million different things and took no responsibility for any of it. Oh, now then. She said I didn't try to be her friend anymore, but every time I put in effort, she acted like she didn't care. She constantly judged me, and when I said something about it, all she said is that's just my personality. Oh, so she's judgy, she's a bit judgy, okay. I'm getting married in September, says the person who's wrote in, and I'd like to invite her mum, but not her, as I don't want it to be uncomfortable. Well, that is going to be uncomfortable. I also don't want her mum in a bad situation. Well, it would be, as we haven't spoken much lately either. What do you think I should do? Thanks, love watching you. Right, so you've fallen out with your friend. You've tried to make the effort. She reckons you haven't. She's a bit judgy. And when you said you're being a bit judgy, she's gone, I'm not being a bit judgy. I am just a bit judgy. Don't sound to me like you're picking your friends wisely. And I think you're just going to kind of fuck things up even more with the feeling of being uncomfortable by inviting a mum and not her. I think I'd just fucking walk away from the situation, go off, get married and have a nice time and have a nice life and choose your friends better in future. Because Friends sometimes do change. Our needs and our perceptions, our wants and needs and points of view also change. And sometimes we have friends that, you know, we get on well in childhood years and then teenage years and then a little bit of young adult. And as we grow, we tend to sometimes, you know, fall apart or move away or want different things, or you see them once in a blue moon. I think you should concentrate on your wedding, and you should concentrate on your husband and your closest family. And I think anybody then who wants to be your friend and doesn't cause any conflict. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not always going to be on the same page as people. We're all going to have different ways of thinking and feeling, likes and dislikes. But if a friend is bringing any drama into your life unnecessarily, and it sounds to me like it's quite an immature relationship, then fuck them off. You don't need them. You don't need anybody in your life, whether it be family, friends, anybody in your personal life that doesn't bring you peace. If something feels like it's too much effort, or too much hard work, or you're having to have serious conversations about you said this, he said that, you've done this, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're a fucking grown adult. You're getting married. Crack on with your life and fuck her off. And as for her mum, yeah, you know, what are you going to do there? What are you going to do there by inviting her mum and not her? Her mum is probably going to say, that's really nice, but I'm busy. So rather than having somebody reject and then making it feel more awkward, just don't bother asking her. Just crack on with your day, flower. Dear Aunty Nelly, anonymous please, I've had loads of difficult situations in life and a very hard time. I lost my mum 3 years ago, then had a total hip replacement, then I had sepsis, then I had pneumonia, then I got vascular leg ulcers from the septic shock, and I nearly died on both occasions. I used to, before I got unwell, be down and scared of life due to tough upbringings, but now I've found myself and I want to help others. Fabulous. I'm now left though, bedbound. I've been in bed for 2.5 years now, left unable to walk again. I love what you do and would love to help or give advice like you do, so take care and hope to speak to you soon. I can certainly try and retrieve your message, find you and message you. I think your situation sounds to you like there's only you going through it and you want to help people come out the other side, is what you're saying to me, because you can now see the beauty of life and maybe you feel like you're looking at what you can do rather than what you can't do. And I think that's so important when we're faced with anything that's critical, anything that's like an injury or a physical detriment to yourself. And I think it's so important for people out there to support people who are not in that place yet, so that they've got that light at the end of the tunnel. So you could be that pioneer, you could be that beacon, you can be that light at the end of the tunnel. Have you thought about, maybe, obviously you've messaged me through Facebook, have you thought about making up a page where people who are also bedbound, who also have physical attributes, which means that they've got disabilities, could actually land on, and you can make a community group and you can all inspire each other. You can all also say how tough your day was and, make it so that you've got a community of people who are in the same boat, people who are maybe at the start of something, people in the middle, people who now have come out the other end and can help others. Have you thought about setting up your own Facebook page, certainly around the areas that you've talked about? I think they are so beneficial. The support groups in certain pages that I'm in a stroke page, so I'm in that, and when I was bedbound after my stroke, it absolutely did me the world of good to speak to people who got it, because my friends and family said they got it and they understood, but they didn't get it the same as the other people who were also in that bed. So to have people in your situation, even though you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, it's so comforting. It's so comforting to be with people who get it. And it's not all about being down in the dumps. It's about learning about other people's experiences, learning about what other people are trying, assisting each other, and finding a community of support. So that's how I would go about it. Absolutely. Share, you know, your downfall. Share the times that you're getting better. Share everything about your journey, because you'll inspire somebody, sweetheart, and you crack on with that. Dear Aunty Nelly, I don't know why I'm messaging you, but I can't tell my friends and family how I feel, because I have everything I could ever want. I've got beautiful children, a house, loving parents. I don't have to work as my husband is very successful. But I feel sad most of the time. I cry most days, and I'm afraid to tell anyone because they will think I'm just so ungrateful because I have so much compared to others. What can I do? I just want to feel. So, what do you want to feel? I just want to feel. Oh, okay, right, okay. Okay, so you've got a husband who is very successful, therefore you don't need to work for a living because money's obviously not an issue. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got beautiful children, you've got a roof above your head, and I get it. I get that you may be saying you feel sad, or you've got a low mood, or you've nothing to make you happy. Other people could look at that and say, the fuck have you got to be fucking sad about? You've got everything. I wish I had your life. It's not about that. Money doesn't buy happiness. A roof over your head, your beautiful children, your husband, your family, your friends. You've got all that. You've got so much more than most. Yes, I agree. However, what have you got inside you? What is it that you're missing? And I'm going to go back and say that what I sensed from that, dear Aunty Nelly, there is you've got nothing for you. You don't feel like you have a purpose. So you're not working, so you're not contributing. Your children are beautiful. All children are beautiful in their own way, and they're probably doing ever so well. And so you feel like that you don't really have to parent. Your family are probably, you know, there for the good times, and you're struggling to put a smile on. Have you thought about maybe getting a little job? It doesn't have to be paid, but a little hobby, a little bit of charity work. Have you thought about getting yourself involved in some community groups where you could help, where you feel like you've got a purpose? And I think sometimes when we're down in the dumps, or we're feeling slight anxiety, a little bit of depression, bit of low mood, it's because we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing, and we kind of lose our way a little bit. And we all think that having a husband, beautiful children, a lovely house, you know, fresh food on the table, money in the bank, that is life goals. Your life goal is for you to be happy. It's for you to find your purpose. It's for you to feed your soul. And that's not happening. So you need to start on you. Forget the husband, forget the children, forget the money in the bank, forget everything around that, and just have 5 minutes, only for 5 minutes. Obviously, don't leave the children unattended. But for 5 minutes, have a sit down and think, what is it that I am feeling now? And when was it that I didn't feel like this? And go back and think about the last time that you felt happy, that you sprung out of bed, that you had something to get out of bed for. Think about something. What was it? It might have been in 1983, but what was it? What was it? When was the last time that you actually felt happy? And then when you've gone back to that place, think about your lifestyle then and what's happening now. Does it sound to me like your lifestyle is serving you? And that's the first thing you need to do, is serve yourself. And you need to make sure that you're filling your own love cup with happiness, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't walk around with that mask on for much longer because it gets exhausting, and I don't recommend anybody do that. So stop where you are now and look back and think back. Now, if there's no times in your life where you've thought, yeah, we're really happy then that's okay. Do not panic. I want you to think about what could bring you happiness today. Is that a walk in fresh air? Is that a lunch with friends? Is that taking the kids to the park? Is that nipping down into town and seeing if any of the charity shops could do with any help of an afternoon? Is it helping your local school? What is it that you want to do to be able to provide a service for others that makes you feel like you've got a role and you're feeling fulfilled? And I think that's where you need to start, definitely. And, do you know, I had a conversation a few weeks ago with a friend of mine, and she was going through a tough time, and she said, listen, I don't really know why, you know, this is making me feel like this. She said, because there's so many people in the world worse off than me. And I always say, yes, absolutely. There is somebody right now saying goodbye to the child. There is somebody right now turning off a life support machine. There is somebody right now who's walked out the front door and they'll never return. Absolutely. But that's not your problem. You've got to deal with your problem. You can't be thinking, I've got nothing to worry about, or I shouldn't have nothing to worry about. My feelings aren't valid. However you feel, that's valid. That is valid, regardless of what's going on in the world. That is valid. Where you are right now is valid. So bring yourself a tiny little bit of heaven. Find it. You deserve it. You are worthy. I always say that there's no such thing as heaven and hell. That's why I'm not religious. If Mum asks, then I am a Roman Catholic. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. She already throws holy water at me every time I walk through the fucking door. She got it from Lourdes. Anyway, I am agnostic, and I always think that we live in hell. Hell is on earth. So it's up to us to find our little piece of heaven in it. And I think when you do pass, that is heaven, because you're forever in perfect peace and you're away from the torture that can happen on earth. Earth, if you think about everything that happens to people, situations, etc., we live in hell sometimes, don't we? Well, most of the time, so you've got to find your own little bit of heaven. So I think I'd start that way. Okie dokie, moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I am 23 and I've been with my boyfriend for nearly 2 years now. For the past year, we have been living together, but our tenancy is due to end at the end of the year. And he wants to go and move back in with his friends. I feel like instead of going forward in our relationship, this is going 10 steps back. I would never stop him doing what he wanted to, but I don't want to move out separately. I want us to move in somewhere new together. I just don't understand why he wouldn't want to. Any advice would be greatly appreciated, and I love all you do. Thanks, Aunty Nelly. Okay, so you moved in together, and you've lived together a year. The tenancy's coming up, and you've gone, right, tenancy's up at end of year, what we're doing? And he's gone, oh, I'm moving back in with my mates, me. And you thought, no, I meant like, what we're going to do now, are we going to look for an apartment, a bungalow, a house, a cottage? We're going to need a new tenancy elsewhere, or are we renewing? And it hasn't gone to plan. What's he actually saying? So rather than sat here pretending we're septic peg and assuming, I think we need to have that conversation, and we need to say, listen, what do you mean you're moving back in with your mates? Because I thought we were in a relationship and we lived together as the traditional husband and wife, and now you're kind of saying, yeah, tenancy's up, I'm moving back in with my mates. Why is that? Can you no longer afford to be in a couple, rent and that? Because it can be pricey, and it'd be cheaper if there were 7 of you rather than 2, etc. You know, has his feelings changed? Did he not enjoy living with you? Have you had that conversation? Communication here is absolutely key. If you're not conversating and asking him what, why, I thought we lived together. When people live together, unless they split, oh, there's another Hartley on, Monica Hartley Watson. That's another sign from the universe. Thank you. If people then no longer live together after living together, there's unusual circumstances, isn't there? But usually it's because they've split up. So is he kind of telling you that I no longer want us to be together without actually telling you? So I'd ask him, because yeah, you're absolutely fucking right. You're taking 10 steps back. Absolutely you are. You live together. He then wants to move back in with his mates. It's over then, isn't it? Am I being a bit harsh? Am I being a bit brutal? It's over. It's done with. It's gone. Am I wrong? Flower pots will help, but why? What? No. Have the conversation now. Sooner rather than later. And then at least you know where you are for your next tenancy. Do you move in with your mates? Do you move back in with family? Do you get your own little place? You need to know. Dear Aunty Nelly, my ex-boyfriend is really nasty. Oh, we are in the same friendship group and recently broke up with me after a year of manipulation and heartache. Oh, and within 3 weeks, he had a new girlfriend. He has already cheated on her with another girl and none of my other friends want to get involved. But surely she should know. The only thing that is going to happen to her is a lot of heartbreak. I really don't know what to do without being the jealous ex. Please help. Baby, you do you. You do you. People have their own path to take in life and they've got their own life lessons to learn. You are not his new girlfriend's guardian. That is fucking up to her to find out if he's a cheating cunt, darling, and if he's going to break her heart. Fuck all to do with you. Will you look like the jealous ex? Abso-fucking-lutely. She started seeing a new lad, likes him, he likes her, regardless of what's going on behind closed doors, because you've not got a fucking clue what he's whispering into her ear. And you come along saying, well, he broke my heart and he cheated and he did this and he's nasty and he's already cheated on you. Of course you're going to look like a psychotic, jealous ex. Of course you are. So you're better off just doing you. Keep that gob shut. That's her lesson to learn. And we've all got to learn these life lessons. When I first started 5 years ago as an international agony aunt, I struggled with some of the dear Aunty Nellies. I really did struggle. Some of them were about toxic relationships, and I remember sitting there and thinking, what? Why? Know your own self-worth, you know. Hashtag by Felicia, there's the door. Until 3 years later, I got into a toxic relationship myself. And I'm grateful every single day for that relationship because it was a lesson I needed to learn to be able to appreciate how easy it is to fall into these kind of relationships, because it had never happened to me. And I needed it to happen to me for me to understand it. So there's certain lessons in life that you have to let people learn. It's the same with our children. You certainly don't let them put their hand into an open fire. Certainly not. But there are lessons they have to learn in order to evolve as a human in life, such as the first heartbreak, rejection, not getting the job they wanted, not passing their driving test the first time. You know, there are certain lessons they have to learn. She is not your problem and neither is he. Just thank yourself and pat yourself on the back every day that you're no longer with him. And if she thinks she's got herself a prize, that's up to her. And then down the line, she gets the heart broke. That's a lesson she has to learn. But will you look like the jealous ex if you start piping up? Abso-fucking-lutely. Nobody wants to get involved, you said. Neither should you. Moving on. I've been with my partner for almost 9 years. We bought a house together and 5 years ago, we bought a house together 5 years ago and have been trying for a baby. We had a miscarriage 2 months ago. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. When I met him, I asked if he wanted to marry me and he said one day. Okay. Marriage to me has always been a big thing in life. And he did say he did, but now he denies that he never said it. And he said he'd never want to marry. I know he said it, and the reason I was asking that I felt that I was getting to the age I didn't want to waste time. I wouldn't have gone out with him if he just said marriage was not important. But he says a mortgage and a baby are commitment enough. But I feel really let down now, and he has shattered my dreams to get married. I feel we've been together too long to leave him. No, you haven't. I do love him so much, I'd be heartbroken if it ended. I just don't know what to do, please. Help. When you met him and you said, do you want to get married? And he's gone, yeah, I'd like to get married one day. And you've gone, yeah, brilliant, I do too. It's the only thing I want in life. You've been together 9 years and you bought a house together 5 years ago. In his head, right? In his head, he thinks you're married. He already thinks you're married because you've been together 9 years and you've lived in the same house for 5 and he thinks that is marriage, a commitment. He get that I get what he means, rather than a gold ring and a piece of paper. I get it. I get what he's saying. Whenever I give advice, which is purely for entertainment purposes, I'm always impartial and I try to see both sides of it. However, what he's not taking into consideration is the fact that his feelings of, I'd get married one day, is the feeling you got from that is that then you could then make all your dreams come true, because marriage to you is what seals the deal in a relationship. I don't think he realises how strongly that means to you. I think he thinks he's ticking all the boxes, but he's left a few T's uncrossed and a few I's undotted, hasn't he? And that's the bit he doesn't get. So I think it's about explaining to him how much being actually married on paper, because that's all it is, and I'm not shitting on your dreams, I'm not doing that, but how much that means to you. Now, when we're with a partner and we love them and care for them and want them to be happy, we will do anything to make that person smile. And he needs to understand that, the importance. So have you told him what is the actual sanctity of marriage and the meaning to you? Because is it a piece of paper and a gold ring? Yeah. Is it maybe you change your surname, maybe you don't? Is it the dress? Is it being stood barefoot on a beach? Is it being in a castle? What is it? What is going to change in your life with that piece of paper? What is going to change by being legally married is actually my husband. And that is the argument that you take to him. If then, at the end of the day, it's still a big fat no. No, I just don't want to get married. I think we're married enough, really, without being married. And you still really want to get married, it's never too late to leave. When you said it's too late to leave, it's never too late to leave. It is never too late to leave. Never. It's never too late to leave. Ever. If something is sucking all the joy out of you and you don't have a purpose in that relationship anymore, it's no longer serving you, then get the fuck out. Life is far too short. I know it can be scary. I know it can feel like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? But believe me, if it's not serving you and he's not willing to listen to you and understand how important. But also as well, when you sit down and have a think about what is the importance of marriage to you, you might actually think, being a bit of a dick about this, because kind of like nothing would change, would it? Because in the olden days, people had to get married to be able to live as man and wife. So what is going to change? Because you're already living as man and wife for 5 years, because you bought a house together 5 years ago and you've been together 9. So what would it change? Why don't you ask yourself that question? Take out the emotion, take out the anger, take out the excitement and the dreams of wearing a big white dress, and have a think to yourself, what would I achieve by them being Mrs. Anonymous? Dear Aunty Nelly, I divorced 12 years ago because of my wife's affair. My 2 daughters hate my girlfriend, who I have been with now for 8 years. What can I do? At first I thought it was because they were young teenagers, but it's never got better. One of my daughters has had a nervous breakdown and she claims it's my fault. When I speak to my other daughter, World War III breaks out. Could you please advise me what to do? Thank you. At first I was thinking that maybe they hated your girlfriend because you got with her 12 years ago as the affair happened, and then there's all these extra people in mum and dad's life and it's shit in it. Teenage girls are renowned for being moody, angry, bitchy, shitty. So I understand the teenage years, but now you said they're both adults. I don't think it's fair for your daughter to blame her nervous breakdown on you unless you actually did something that contributed to that. And I think that's a separate conversation from the problem you're having now. And I think your wife had an affair, you got divorced 12 years ago, you went your separate ways, 4 years later you met someone and she's still your girlfriend, good for you. What I think some people do, and I really do stand by this, is, so you get a girlfriend, you get a boyfriend, and all of a sudden, everybody wants to play fucking happy families. And not everybody feels fucking happy about it. And you are entitled to have a love life as an adult man. You are entitled to have a girlfriend, a fiance, a wife. You're entitled to do that. Do you. You do you for you. But you do not have to expect everyone else to just slot into place. It's not a jigsaw puzzle. They're not the missing piece. You still need to keep up with your relationships with your daughters as dad, as daughters. Do you have dad-daughter dates? Do you make sure that you're there as dad for your daughters? Or you give them birthday cards that say from dad and not from dad and Susie or Janet or Becky or whatever the fuck she's called? Are you still being dad rather than dad and dad? Well, I want to work for tea with my dad, but she'll come. Are you being dad? Because I sometimes think that this is where people get it a bit wrong. And I'm not saying I'm perfect or I haven't made mistakes. Every day is fucking school day. But if I was to get a boyfriend, chance to be a 5, but if I was to get a boyfriend and say my daughter was doing something really weird and wonderful and wanted mum there, but she wants mum there, she doesn't want mum and boyfriend because she has a dad. So these girls have a mum, and mum also has to, you know, be mum. So I think these girls were very, very angry that mum and dad split up, that mum had the affair. And I think maybe there's times when you could be more just dad and not dad and. I could be wrong, I could be absolutely on the wrong page, but I think it's certainly an important thing for me to put out there, that when you're dad or your mum, then you're mum and dad. Then you're not mum and boyfriend, dad and girlfriend. That's not what the kids want. The kids want the dad. And it sounds to me like in the teenage years, maybe you were dating, because you've now got a girlfriend 4 years later, maybe you were doing a lot of dating, and they didn't really have the dad when they needed the dad. They had dad and. And maybe she is your world, and maybe she makes you really happy, and maybe you have healed from the divorce, but you've got to sometimes prioritise and compromise and make sure that girlfriend understands that you're dad first and be the dad. So I think more quality time, more quantity with your girls as dad, not dad and. I hope that makes sense, and I think that might be a step forward. A little step forward. Yeah? Okay. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have always thought my boyfriend of 5 years loved me just the way I am. I'm a size 16 and he made me feel so special because he told me, hang on, I've lost it, where's it gone? That I look beautiful just the way I am. Oh. But lately, it's always a but lately, my mum got out some very old pictures which he had not seen before, and he said I look better before 5 years ago, as I was quite slim. I was a size 12. He kept commenting how thin I looked back then, and I straight out asked him if he wished he'd met me then when I was better and thinner, and he said yes. I don't know what to do now. I know this. What should I do? Oh, I don't know what to do now that I know this. What should I do? Right, well, he weren't around 5 years plus, were he? When you were a better, slimmer size 12. He met you 5 years ago. You were a size 16. He told you were beautiful. What can we do with that information? He thought you looked better. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. How did you feel when you was a size 12? Were you a size 12? Were you healthy? Were you happy? Are you a size 16? Are you healthy? Are you happy? It's not about how you look, it's how you feel. So how do you feel today as a size 16? Do you feel as good as you did when you were a size 12? There's no argument. You are what you are. Things happen in relationships. Things happen in our life. I'm sure if I asked a certain person today, what did you think of me 20 years ago? They go, fucking hell, Nelly. Cracking. Yeah. And in 20 years, I've had a stroke. I'm super morbidly obese. Then I was more morbidly obese. Then, you know, I've had weight issues and one that, you know, fucking damn right I look better fucking 20 years ago. You know, some people do age like a fine wine. I always thought Lady Diana looked a lot more beautiful the older she got. You know, that can happen. But, yeah, did you like me better then? Well, yeah. Doesn't mean to say he doesn't like you now. And I really do think this isn't really about what he said. This is really about how it's made you feel, because maybe you felt better, healthier, happier, maybe as a little bit of a healthier size 12 to what you are as a size 16. Is it a wake-up call that you need to get a little bit healthier? Or is it a case of, you fucking cheeky bastard, you think I look fit then and you don't think I look fit now? That's not their problem, that's your problem. Everything you're bringing into this Dear Aunty Nelly is what you're feeling, what you're saying, what you're presuming. This is you that's got the problem. He hasn't created this problem. You have this problem with your inner self. You're causing this conflict with you. Today, you are 5 years older from those pictures and you're a size 16. If you like what you see, not what anybody else sees, but if you like what you see, girl, you're winning. If they don't fucking like it, they don't have to fucking look. Close your eyes, avert your eyes, turn your fucking head, because this is me. Like it or fucking lump it. End of. Because I'm sure to God, if you saw photos of him fucking 8 years ago, you'd think he'd look fucking better. You've got to be happy in you. And when you are happy in you and honest with yourself, you're not going to feel these things. You're not going to get these conflicts. Of course I look better 20 fucking years ago. My fucking tits were on high beam. They're on fucking low beam now. If you want to see my tits, you've got to get down on your knees. Because that's where they are. That's the reality. Be honest about things. Of course we look better 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. But age is a privilege denied to many. Love yourself today for you, for the beautiful being that you are. And the right people will love you. And them that don't, off the fuck. Off the fuck. Do some work on yourself, baby. Do some work on you. Right. Dear Aunty Nelly, what time is it? I feel like I'm never fucking going to get shut here. Oh, it's because I didn't come on last week and, yeah. Dear Aunty Nelly, my nana has been keeping my dad's ashes in her house since he died 6 years ago. I don't want to ask her for them because it's her son and I know she must be so upset, but it's just not fair. I want to go somewhere to remember him by, but I just have to keep going to my nana's. Oh dear God, I just... I think they should be scattered so we all have somewhere to visit and talk to him privately. I don't know what to do. What do you suggest? So when you're going to your nana's, you're going to your nana's to see your dad's ashes, am I right? And when you want to have a little bit of a chat with your dad, your nana's kind of there in the background listening. Is that what you're kind of saying? Is that what is that what you're saying? Okay, so your nana, she's lost her son. I cannot, on God's green earth, imagine how that must feel. But it must be absolutely fucking traumatising. Grief has no age. Grief has no end. Yes, you want somewhere to go and see Dad. You want him to be at rest, at peace somewhere, so that you can all go and have that moment. Are you close to Nana? Are you not close to Nana? Is there a time you can say to Nana, Nana, where did Dad really like? Because I'm worried. I am worried, Nana, that when you pass, what am I going to do with you? I mean, I've already got Dad to think about. What am I going to do? Have that open, very upsetting, honest conversation. She can't let go. And if I could have kept my dad in a box beside me, I would have done. I didn't want to let go of my dad. I didn't want to I'd laid with him for 5 days and 5 fucking nights before he took his last breath. And I didn't want to let him go. And if I could have him here with me now, I would. Grief knows no age. Grief knows no time. It's as if it happened yesterday. And my dad's been past 11 years. I get it. I get it. I get that she doesn't want to let her baby boy go. But 6 years it could be 66 years. Who are we to say what time is the right time? When you have that conversation with Nana, that will give you time then to have it, open up that can of worms, if you will, that elephant in the room, and say, sometimes I just want to talk to my dad, Nana, and there's things I want to say that I don't want to say in front of you. She's his mum, she's your grandmother, she will understand all this. Maybe she'll say, do you know what, granddaughter, I have been thinking lately that we do need to find a place for him, and I have been thinking that when I go, I'd like to go with him. Have that conversation, because this is just going to breed bitterness on top of your grief. You do need private moments with your dad's ashes. As I go up to the cemetery and sit down next to my dad and tell him all sorts, he's probably fucking quite pleased when I leave. But I also come downstairs every morning and say good morning to him. I've got a photo of him. I haven't got his ashes because he's buried, but there's a photo there, and I'll say morning, Dad, and I'll talk to him. Some people might think that I'm slightly mental, but no, that works for me. So have you also got something in your home for you, a little shelf with your dad's picture on, a little candle or a flower or one of his keepsakes that you can still talk to him? You don't have to go and sit with his ashes, even though I'm sure that's very comforting. But you need to be around Dad whenever you want him to be around you. So you can call for him at any time and you can say, listen, Dad, I need to tell you this. And he doesn't have to be there in his ashes. But I certainly think you need to have that conversation with your Nana sooner rather than later. I don't think for 1 minute she's hijacking him or keeping him or not wanting him to be at peace. I can't imagine what it's like to let go of your child. And while she's got a piece of him there, his ashes, however she's got him, she's still got him, hasn't she? And that's probably really comforting her in her grief. That's all I can imagine it is. So yeah, I get that you have to go to your Nana's, but have a little shelf at home in your bedroom or a little place where you feel comfy. Sit down, get his pictures out, listen to his music, put one of his favourite films on, make his special dish. He'll be around you. He'll never leave you. And I've had 2 signs today on my Sunday service from my dad, because there's been 2 ladies who joined called Hartley. So there you go. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. They say that when you can talk about something and not cry, that's when you've healed. I don't know if I'll ever be able to talk about my dad without crying. It's horrific. It's horrific. You can be absolutely fine and you're fine and you find colour in the world again and you start laughing again and you start enjoying things, and sometimes it can just absolutely fucking knock you on your ass from nothing. And it doesn't even have to be the favourite song or a song or a memory. It just comes from nowhere. Just from nowhere, and that's it then. Hi, Aunty Nelly. I was seeing someone for 7 months. We had a great relationship and lots of fun. We never argued and saw each other all the time. 2 months ago, he sent me a text message to say it was over. Oh. We had no row or argument or anything. He has since refused to answer any of my phone calls, but one day he did reply in a message and just said, I just want to be single. He just doesn't want a relationship. I'm absolutely gutted and I don't know what to do to get him back. Please help. Right? You can't get him back because he don't want to go out with you. He's just not that into you. And he's just probably not into anyone. So it's not you, it's him. I hate that, but it's not you, it's him. He just wants to be single. And that's okay. Is it not better off finding out how many months? 2, 3 months. 3 months in that is not that into a relationship, then 33 months in, yeah, absolutely, because you'd have your heart broke, wouldn't you? But you've obviously spent a lot of time. Heartland, oh my God, lots of signs from Dad. Hello, Dad. Oh, he's all right. He's all right, isn't he? He's around. He's around, is my dad. So I think when somebody actually tells you, listen, I do not want to be in a relationship. I want to be single. I want to get them back. No, you can't get them back because they don't want to be with you. They've been very honest, and I actually appreciate, as much as it hurts sometimes, people's honesty. Then at least you know where you're at. I know it hurts, lick your wounds, you know, go out and have some crazy dates with the girls, even have a little cheeky girly weekend away, whatever, but move on. You've invested so much time in this one person over 3 months and put them on a pedestal that you've forgotten about yourself and you've forgotten about what you actually do in your daily life. So get back to doing what you do for you. Get back into good lifestyle habits, make changes, you know, maybe get your hair cut, go on a spa day, take yourself on a date. But if you want to go out with this lad and he said don't want to go out with you, what the fuck are you playing at? No, don't do it, because it sounds like a fucking harassment case in the waiting. Okay. Dear Aunty Nelly, I've got my dream job. Congratulations. The only issue is an ex-friend works for the company in the office I'll be in. Ex-friend? Right, okay. The friendship ended with a big argument and we haven't spoken in 7 years. I'd reach out to give you a heads up, but I no longer have her number and I'm blocked on all social media. I just don't want her to badmouth me to all new colleagues before I even start. I'm worried about the reception I'll receive on my first day. How do I handle this? Do you know what? I speak as a find me, and somebody could say to me, he's a right fucking bellending. Absolute bellend. Well, you might think that, but I'll be my own judge, thanks. I'll speak as a find. So if these people are quite happy to have the opinion of you tarnished by somebody else, well, they're not people you want in your life anyway. You've got your dream job. You're going into the workplace where you're going to do the job you've always wanted to do. Get in and do what you fucking paid for. If you make friends there, brilliant. If you don't, be respectful, be nice, be kind, be polite. And then people might see a side of you and think she's a fucking bellend for fucking slagging you off. Or she might not even have slagged you off. So you're giving yourself a load of fucking anxiety for no reason. You've got your dream job, massive congratulations. Crack on into the workplace and do what you fucking paid for. And that's all you have to do, sweetheart. And then you've also got to think that not everybody in that office will know her. So you might make your own friends. But be polite, be nice, be yourself, and be the best you can be at your job. And hopefully the people that are at this job, they don't let somebody else fucking gossip. Who wants to gossip anyway? If they're all sat there gossiping about you, fucking kind of friends are them. You don't want friends like that. Come on, you're a fucking grown adult and you're now starting on the job that you've always wanted to do. So congratulations, best of luck, and crack on. So today's been Sunday service. It's been Sunday. I've serviced you for quite some time, haven't I? I hope you've enjoyed this Sunday service as much as I have. Give me that like, give me that love, give me that share. Any advice I have given on today's show has been purely for entertainment purposes. And please keep writing into the page, because without your dear Aunty Nellies, there is no dear Aunty Nelly, is there? So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to come live to you today. Whatever you do with the rest of your day or evening or early morning, enjoy, and I'll see you all very, very soon. God bless you, flower pots. Don't forget, I'm not religious. Unless my masks.